Hello, friends. Thank you for stopping by. It's good to see everybody. This was not the video that I planned on making today, that I prepared to make today, but this is the video that I'm making today. You know, the last period of time here has been really difficult for the world, and recently it's been particularly difficult, I feel like, for the gaming community. In many ways, this is a challenging time. And I, like many other people, have taken this in and digested this and thought of this. And, I've been blessed to have a position in this ecosystem, and it means a lot to me. And I certainly don't pretend like I'm qualified to comment on the vast majority of these issues. I think they're varied. I think they're raw. I think they're serious. I think they're painful. And it's a difficult time. But I did want to touch base on something. And I do this with full knowledge that it exposes me to ridicule and scorn and memes and whatever. But, it's just something critical that I want to share, in sincere hope that it helps some people, and maybe prevents some problems before they happen. If I help one or two people in our community because they take this to heart, then it's worth sticking my neck out and exposing myself to all the fun of the internet, right? Reading through these stories, and many of them really difficult to read through, more often than not, there's a common thread, and it's alcohol. I had too much to drink, I was drunk, or he was drunk, or couldn't find this, or whatever. I know coming from some of my age, you're like, oh, shut up, boomer, whatever. I just want to share my thoughts on this as a fellow journeyman and on the trail of life, and certainly welcome to laugh at me or whatever, or say obviously, or I can't speak out on every issue out there that is challenging and that plagues our society and that plagues the gaming community. It's not my place. I'm not qualified, nor would it be wise. I choose not to always have something to say. But on this one, being really honest and transparent with you, I do have something to say. When I was younger, I started drinking because it was fun and I loved to party. And that's basically what it was. It was fun. As I got older, went through law school and started a law firm, and then I started Complexity, was starting a family. It was a lot. And the mounting stress of each subsequent day, and probably biting off more than a normal person could chew, turned alcohol in my life from having fun to a crutch and then a problem. I speak from experience when I try to warn you that alcohol doesn't bring good to your life. Alcohol doesn't make us funnier. Alcohol doesn't make us cooler. Alcohol doesn't really help much at all with anything. We just fool ourselves into believing that. When I was drinking too much, I said many things to people I wish I could take back. I would look back later and just like recollect, on these stories. And I hated that I wasn't the person that I was trying so hard to be as soon as I started drinking too much. I don't know if it was always a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde thing for me, but between my, 20 years old and when I eventually quit, I quit drinking completely around 8 years ago. But 10, 15 years ago, when it was really something I struggled with, when I had too much, I could turn into a tyrant, and that wasn't who I wanted to be. I could be rude. That wasn't who I wanted to be. I could be thoughtless, selfish, arrogant. It was like this stuff brought out the worst in me. And when I look at the situations we're struggling with right now, they run deep, and I'm not qualified to speak to those things, but I do feel fairly qualified to speak to our community about alcohol. And if my warnings and my advice to avoid this poison help a couple people, you could change one person's path. The impact they have on 100 lives could be that much better. So I just wanted to make this video, you know, from my heart. I went back and did my best to apologize to people in all areas of my life that I was a jerk to. And I quit 100%. And I've worked very hard to try to be a better person. I'm never going to be perfect. But I know there's people out there that have been hurt by alcohol and what it does in people and the actions it leads people to do that they quite often would never have done without that influence. I think in our gaming community, we need to seriously think about how we interact with alcohol. I think the gaming community is ahead on so many different things. I think the gaming community are forerunners on treating people right, on respecting people with different beliefs and different ethnicities and orientations and everything. Yet we go to these after parties and we all, get sloshed, and then these terrible things happen. I feel like we're better than this, and maybe I'm just a silly old boomer gamer dad. But I was trying to do this other video today, and I was trying to work in the outline, and I just couldn't get this off my mind. And anyone that knows me knows I'm very thoughtful and very slow to hop on these types of rants. But sometimes something's weighing on you so much. And after hours of this today, I was like, I'm just going to record this and I'm going to put it out there and people will laugh or whatever. But I want to say, I was a jerk to people and I was mean to people because of the drinking more than anything else. I wasn't perfect, of course, but under the influence, I wasn't the person that I wanted to be. And under the influence, I would almost guarantee you're not the person that you want to be. I'm not telling everybody to go out and stop cold turkey like I did. That was the path I needed to take in order to continue to try to work on myself, to be a better person, to have more compassion, to be more kind, to have more integrity, to treat people like you want to be treated, to try to be able to love people that I don't even necessarily know really well, but to try to treat them with respect and with dignity and try to hear their side of the story and try to be able to facilitate adult and mature conversations, to have patience and other virtues, things that when I was drinking, I could never have. If you have the magic ability to drink and to have these virtues and just live this wonderful life, that's amazing. But I'd be willing to bet that you're deluded. And if you ask the people that care about you, that are around you, they would say you're not like that. This has gone long enough. I hope as gamers, as a community, it's obviously a very individual decision. It's an individual problem that affects many people. But I think as a community, we can take actions that make it easier to socialize in sober environments. And we don't all have to be wearing halos or whatever, right? But there are people that want to interact with our community. And I think it's incumbent upon us to somehow provide healthy, sober, safe environments for them to do so, so we don't have these floods of heartbreaking accounts, so many of which that are tied to alcohol. Thanks for listening to today's rant. Yeah, that's all I've got. Be good, be kind to people, and careful.